Welcome back to a Celtic State of Mind. It is Celtic 4, Kilmarnock 1. Or is it actually Celtic 5, Kilmarnock 1? Should it have been? We'll touch on that in a minute. I'll get Sean's view as the resident referee and expert. But Kevin, look, that decision aside, and it's been a goal of real big moments, a game rather of real big moments. I mean, we've had two screamers with two really well worked goals, some delicious play. Are we allowed to say that? Some delicious play in that first half. What's been your impression so far of the performance?
I think it's been a great first half performance. It's there's a bit of an echo coming through them. I don't know if you're picking up on it as well.
It's not coming through for me, so I'm okay.
Yep.
I'll put mine down.
Yeah, all right. I'll start again. Echo aside, it's been a brilliant first half. It's exactly the response that we needed after last week and after some of the kind of recent performances, even going back to Hearts the other week when we went 3-0, but we were never massively convincing. That was just good finishes in that game against a poor side. Today we have been phenomenal. I think I used that word before and I'll use it again because I think that opening 25 minutes when we go 4-0 up, it was, I mean, that's the kind of performance that we aspire to be putting in, week out. We know we've got the players that have got the quality to do it. And in that opening half hour, every single one of them basically stood up. It was almost like, as I said before the game, an apology for last week. We know that we can play a lot better. We've gone out and we've done it. The football has been it's been brilliant to watch, but we've been quick on the ball. We've been direct in our play. There's been very few moments in the game where we've done that like a pass for a pass's sake. Everything's had a purpose behind it. It's been trying to get us forward and create a bit of space. And it was an absolute joy to watch that opening 25 minutes of the game. As he mentioned, two absolute world class goals. Hatate's into the top corner, and then Carter Vickers' goal, which Sean's shared the video in the WhatsApp chat, the famous WhatsApp chat, with Ida's reaction to it. He can't believe it. I'm not going to say live on a stream here what I said when that goal went in, but you can imagine I was quite delighted with it. So it's been a great first half. It's pretty much everyone has stepped up. Taylor, I think, has been fantastic, doing what he does best, coming into that that inverted role and becoming the additional quarterback and centre midfielder in there. I think some of his passing has been top notch. Those two world class goals are world class. Engels, I think, has had a good performance. He's had a hand in most of the goals, if not. He's maybe not provided the assist, but it's been the pass before it, and I value that a lot. That pre-assist at times. He's been involved a lot there. If I was to have one single criticism of the half, it's maybe been that Ida's hold-up play hasn't quite been there. That's been a disappointment. But other than that, and we've got away with it in that sense because everyone else has been absolutely on it. We've dominated and destroyed Kilmarnock. I don't think they've had a touch of the ball in the Celtic penalty area. They certainly hadn't up to the point they scored. So it's been such a joy to watch. And yeah, the only other disappointment is that because of last week, we're not sitting here going, come full time, we're going to be lifting that trophy. Other than that, perfect afternoon so far.
Good stuff, good stuff. No, I totally agree with that. Sean, I want to get your impressions of the game as well. But first of all, and we hate to have to talk about a refereeing decision or an officiating decision when we're winning so comprehensively at this point. But what was your thoughts on the decision to disallow the goal there towards the end of the first half?
Well, it's a factual decision, so there's nothing to debate, really, is there? Look, it's the rule is if you have a body part you can score with, i.e. the shoulder, that counts as the furthest part forward. My looking at it though, my problem is that the line from Ida's shoulder is not on the same part of the body as the line from Mayo's shoulder. So Mayo, the line goes through his shoulder. Ida, it's like touching the edge of his shoulder. So they've basically drawn it where they want to draw it. Yeah, like the sooner we get a better VAR system, the better. I didn't see that as being offside, but it's what we've got and it's what we're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the game itself, Sean, I mean, who stood out for you in a Celtic shirt in that first half? I mean, there's probably a few candidates.
Yeah, Taylor stood out. It was very obvious from early on that he was playing midfield basically. So I'm a little bit frustrated with that in a sense. Like he's been excellent in there. I think he gets an assist for the Hatate goal. He's playing some great through balls. But it makes me wonder, like, why are we even playing a left back? Like,
Yeah,
why can't Bernardo or McCown just come on and we'll just play four midfielders, right? Because the way he's been playing in that centre mid position is freed up Hatate and Engels today uh, to do things. They were a little bit deeper last week against Johnson, and they've been really further forward this week, and they've been able to combine in triangles, and that's where a few of the goals have come from. So uh, having those two number sixes in McGregor and Taylor has really helped free up those two, and that's Hatate and Engels have had a great game as well. So, and it's because Taylor freed them up. But I do wonder why we're not just, why can't we just take Taylor off and put McCown or Bernardo in it? I don't know. You said, Kev, that there was very few negatives. Scales just passing it out of play under no pressure twice was a bit of a negative for me as well. I'm not sure. Like, luckily enough, Kilmarnock aren't offering much, so Scales hasn't been tested. But yeah, he put one out. He sailed one out as well. And on the point of Taylor playing midfield, I would say the Kilmarnock goal comes from our left back position, and who is it that's closing down? It's Arne Engels, right? Who's our right midfielder, and he's over there closing down in the left back position. So, there's still some things we can improve on, but luckily we have been very good. We've been fantastic in possession. We've had something like, I think there was a point that flashed up a start of 89% possession.
Yes.
So when we take care of the ball like that, when we pass and move like that, and we're clean with our passing, you really reduce your chance for Kilmarnock to frustrate. Like, whenever a goalkeeper catches the ball, he wants to run 20 seconds off the clock. Whenever it's a throw in, they want to take 30 seconds off. Every time Nicholas Kuhn puts a shot into Rose Eds or puts a cross out for a throw in, that's when they'll take another 30 seconds off the clock. So when we're keeping it in play, we're cycling it, and we're being clean with it, we're really reducing the chance for them to do that, reducing the chance for Kilmarnock to frustrate us, and that's really helped. And we've been clinical as well. We've not, I don't know how many chances we created, like 7, maybe 8, and we've scored half of them. So
Yep.
we've been quite clinical, and I'd dare say we created as many, well, not quite as many, but we've almost as many chances in this half as we created all last week, and we didn't score any last week. So I think the pitch has made a difference as well. If you look at the second goal, where Engels plays that through ball to Johnston, and again the weight, it's a sensational weighted pass, and you can't really do that on a rough pitch, so having a good pitch makes a difference. And even though the disallowed goal, the pass from Engels was excellent as well. So I thought we've been great in possession. We've not allowed Kilmarnock to frustrate us. We've been clinical. Taylor's freed up the two players to play number 10 roles, and that's really all added up to a really dominant performance.
Good. Yep. No, I would agree with that. Just want to bring up a comment here. It was something that I can emphasise is the domination. I noticed it when it flashed up as well. So Martin Linton comes in to say 161 complete passes in the final third, guys on Sky there. And actually, there's a more extreme element of that. It was 161 passes to 1 for Kilmarnock, which really shows the level of dominance we had in there.
Was that one past the goal they scored that was a cross?
Oh,
that went
probably,
in?
Yeah.
They were counting that as no Kilmarnock shots because that was a cross.
That was I was going to ask whether that was deliberate or not. No, I looked at it. It's a good goal. I'm sure Armstrong will take it, but it was certainly, I think the consensus is it was a cross. Should the keeper have done better in that one, Kev? Should Sinisalo be a bit more aware of that, or is it just we just chalk that one down to being a bit unlucky?
I think a bit unlucky, really. You look at that one, and that's the obvious question, right? Could the keeper have done better? He's setting himself for that being a cross rather than a shot coming in there. And if it's a cross, I don't think it's intended to go exactly where it's gone. I think it's maybe to be a yard or two further out from the goal so that someone can attack it and get a head on it. It's gone into that right area, but I don't think you can really blame the keeper for that one so much. if there is a criticism, maybe you go, could he have moved his feet a little bit quicker to get there, just adjusted his positioning slightly. But overall, man, I don't think there's very much more he could do with that. It's a freak goal, really. Kelly get a goal without a shot and without a touch of the ball in the Celtic area. Chalk it down to one and move on.
I'm sure he's frustrated at losing the potential clean sheets. We were certainly on it. A couple of players I do want to talk about, Kev, before we move back to Sean there, is we spoke a lot about Engels and that, in the pre-match there. He's combining very well for me with Alistair Johnson and James Forrest, funnily enough, down that side. And we've always spoken about that triangle, the three players and the way they, the one-touch football to create the space in behind to then get the cross. And we've profited from that today. Is that an indication that what we had lost was certainly down that right-hand side? Is it an indictment of Kuhn's recent performances that James has come in and suddenly we're seeing that? Or is that a combination of the fact that Kilmarnock are maybe just not offering much resistance in that front? But either way, the three players there are really combining well.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of many things. Sean's made the point a few times about the standard of the pitch. And I think that is actually helping us massively.
Looks good today, doesn't it?
Look back to last week. Sorry?
It looks good today, the pitch, actually. Yeah, it looks in good.
They'll probably have the sprinklers on right now, getting it nice and wet as well.
Aye. Yeah, so it's a nice, flat, smooth surface. Probably Sean says it's a little bit wet on top, so we get the zip in the passing. And we've got players that are good passers of the ball. Right? Engels pre-assist for the second goal, that pass. Sean's right, it doesn't happen on many other surfaces. Because it's, you've got to change the weighting of the pass depending on the surface. It's perfect for that. It's a pass we've seen Engels play quite a few times already this season in different games where he just delays a little bit and lets the run go to the right point. The timing of the pass, the weighting of it is perfect. Does not having Kuhn in the team influence that at all? I don't know. I think it's just one of those ones where we've had a poor result the week before. The players have been made fully aware of that during the course of the week. We've come out with the game plan of let's go for the throat in the first 10, 15 minutes of this game and really assert dominance on Kilmarnock. And I think we've done that. And when we do that, when we get in that flow, if it's Engels, Johnson and Forrest, if it's Engels, Johnson and Kuhn, I think we become unplayable if they're all in the game. But Forrest coming back in just gives us a different option than Kuhn. He's not always going to cut inside like Kuhn does. He gives us a bit more width, which then maybe gets Johnson in the inside channel. So again, it's a combination of many things. It's worked so well in the first half. And I just hope that when we come out for the second half, it's the same messaging again. Kind of go for the throat, keep that intensity going, and don't just sit back. Maybe the wise thing to do is manage the game out and see it through. But I want another 4 goals in that second half. I want to go for it.
Yeah, you don't want as a supporter, you want to see us go on and capitalise. That is a little bit of the elephant in the room because when we've had these first half performances this season, on a couple of occasions, the second half has really dropped in intensity. But then you're hoping that the bench today, Sean, might actually see players coming in with a point to prove because they've seen how the replacements essentially have actually performed. So they're thinking, well, I need to up the game. Which, do we look at the manager and say, give the manager credit for clearly putting a rocket up the team, ahead of this game because their attitude looks on it. We're seeing things we haven't seen enough of this season. We're seeing Scales and Carter Vickers, the centre-back positions, coming forward, and rather than playing the sideways horseshoe pass, we're actually seeing some powerful, accurate shots at goal as well. I mean, the forward element of our play has been excellent today. What have you made of those kind of moments where Carter Vickers, Scales having shots? I know we spoke about Scales' distribution a little bit, maybe chalk that down to rustiness. But why have we not seen that enough this season? It's clearly there.
Because we've got an extra number 6 in the team today. So that is pretty, I think it's pretty simple as that, right? There's only so many players in the pitch, and Kilmarnock they try and stay compact, so they try to cover everyone, and they get drawn towards the 2 number 6s, and that means that creates a space for Carter Vickers or Scales to move into. Scales does get one on target, and then 5 minutes later, Carter Vickers copies him and probably goal of the season. We'll see. But yeah, it was certainly a ripper. Nobody's expecting it. If Carter Vickers scores a goal, you normally expect it to be like from a corner, but no, I think he did one in the past that took a deflection. I think it was against Dundee or Wraith or something, where he hit a long range one that deflected off a defender and went in. So that one, don't know where that came from, but I enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm happy the players. It's a lot of one-touch football, a lot of moving about. Centre back stepping up, left backs going into centre mid. Alistair Johnson playing as an overlapping winger. All of this is like is sort of total football concept of players moving around the pitch and creating uncertainty and against a team that's playing a rigid structure. And if you want to break down that rigidness, you need a little bit of chaos. You need a little bit of uncertainty.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with that more. Disagree with that more, really. Couldn't disagree. I agree with you. Let's just say that. I'm caught up in watching a game. George Nicholson comes in, I think, just to echo. The difference is moving the ball much quicker. It's 1-2 touch that's making a massive difference. Just hope we don't drop the tempo in the second half. I can see the players are out on the park, so we'll leave it there. Thank you very much to Sean and Kevin for their analysis. Hopefully we get a similar performance in the second half, minus the free goal that we lost. Looking to see some of the players coming off the bench and maybe making a difference. But we will be back for full time, hopefully celebrating a big statement win. Thank you very much, everyone that's joined the channel, and we'll see you at full time.
Come on, Oops.
Cheers, Chris.